Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti. The law of destiny talks about the past. It connects, it accounts your present, linking to the past. Law of destiny. And the mistake people do is they take the law of destiny to be the whole. It's not a complete explanation. It is partial. The completion for that law of destiny is law of karma. Or what you can, or to put it the other way around, you can say law of karma is the extension of law of destiny. Having understood the law of destiny, we stretch it further. What you get is law of karma, which is far more comprehensive, far more complete. Law of destiny accounts your present and past. Law of karma accounts past, present, and future also. So in that sense, law of karma is far more comprehensive than law of destiny. Now with this, we move on to the next topic, the law of karma. And then we will come back and study this law of destiny and law of karma together, parallelly. Okay. Now, law of karma. Yes.
Law of karma. The law of destiny defines the status of a person at any moment of his life with reference to his past from that moment, whereas the law of karma is an extension of the law of destiny into the future. Both the laws are based on the principle of cause and effect. The law of destiny states that you are at present the product of your past. The law of karma reaches further to state that you are not only the product of your past, but the producer of your future as well. Destiny covers only the past and present, while karma covers the past, present, and future. With reference to your past, you are a product, a slave. But with reference to your future, you are a producer, a master. You are the son of your father as well as the father of your son. You are a son, father, product, producer at the same time. Looking back into your past, you develop pessimism. Looking ahead into your future, you gain optimism. With the knowledge of the law of karma, you begin to realize that your shortcomings and difficulties are the creation of your past unintelligent activities, and that you have now the opportunity to create a better future for yourself, that you are the master of your destiny. A human being, therefore, is bound by his own past, while he is free to act as he wills. Freedom and bondage seem to coexist in one person. Thus, you are a product of your past. You also possess a free will to act as you please. There are two forces operating in your life. The one from the past that has shaped your destiny, known as Prarabdha. The other which gives you the freedom to choose your action, Purushartha. Your Purushartha chooses your course of action, and the actions executed already by your Purushartha, self-efforts, result in your Prarabdha, destiny. Your destiny is thus the cumulative effect of all your past self-efforts. Whatever has been the nature and quality of your effort in the past, the same will be reflected in your present destiny. If your physical, mental, and intellectual activities have been positive, you meet with a positive destiny. If negative, you meet a negative destiny. If partly positive and partly negative, your destiny takes the same proportion.
So the law of destiny is with respect to the past. And the law of karma is with reference to your future. The mistake most of us make is we take the law of destiny to future. Think the future is also predetermined. This is where the flaw is, the mistake. Otherwise, every other aspect of understanding of destiny is correct. The only mistake is we stretch it. So if you want to discuss with reference to future, you have to go to law of karma. So what does law of karma says? According to law of karma, your future is in your hands. Your future is not in the hands of your destiny. The law of destiny says the past is over, correct? The past is complete, but the future says fully in your hands. So therefore, with respect to the past, you are a product. And with respect to the future, you are. Now, when we say you are a product, what he means is you have already paid the price. That's the meaning of it. So when he says you are a product, means you have paid the price already. And you are going through the effect of what you have paid in the past in your present experience. So human beings view the past, continued in the present, and extends it to the future is law of karma. Right? You are what you are because of your past. In the present, whatever you are today. So these two directions are there, two aspects are there in life. One says, because of the past, we are presently what we are. If that be so, then your future will be what? What you are in the present. Whatever you are doing in the present. This is where law of karma comes and says, look here, at any point of time, you are given an opportunity to take a U-turn. The potential, the law of destiny says there is no U-turn possibilities. Right? You can't take a U-turn. That is law of destiny. Law of karma says at any given point of time, you can take a U-turn. And in that possibility lies salvation. If that possibility to take a U-turn is not there, means we can close the class. It is a waste of time. Whatever we are doing is a sheer waste of time, because nothing can be done. You see, the potential should be there. Potential to do what? The potential to take a U-turn, meaning right now you have been moving in the direction of the world, You have the potential to take a U-turn and direct your efforts, meaning all your actions, all your speech, and all your thoughts and emotions can be directed towards the self. You can turn it back to the self. That possibility is there. So if you look in the direction of the past, you are bound. If you look towards the future, you have that possibility. So first thing you must understand is there is a potential to take a U-turn. That potential is called as Purushartha. See, what is a Purushartha? Of course, there are so many things are packed in that one word, Purushartha. Like we use the word Shraddha, right? See, there are so many things packed in it. One of the aspects of Purushartha is it is a potential form. So, who is an optimist? Optimist is one who sees opportunity in difficulties. In every situation, he sees an opportunity. Opportunity for what? Opportunity to do something totally different from what he has been doing. That is called a U-turn. So when we say take a U-turn, you have the capacity to take a U-turn, means what? It means you have the potential, you have the capacity to do something totally different from what you have been doing all these years. That power is there inherent in you. So a pessimist says what? Sir, in the past, I have done so much. I have worked. It's not that I have not worked, Isharan, I have worked. But it has not yielded any result. So it's not that in the past I didn't do anything. I have been doing things. Now, that's where we need this knowledge. This knowledge makes you realize your potential. And in that, you can move. From wherever you are, you can take a U-turn. This is the first idea that you need to digest here. Potential to take a U-turn. Now, law of karma says your past is totally out of your hands. You cannot do anything with reference to your past. It is fate accompanied. Nothing can be done. But the future is totally in your hands. This is the beauty here. The past is totally out of your hands. Therefore, future is totally in your hands. U-turn means this. At any point, you can do. A person who has been living his life so selfishly can decide to, he can turn totally into unselfishness. He has the capacity to take a U-turn and become completely unselfish. The saint, the sinner can become a saint. Mark. The saint also can become a sinner. That is also U-turn. Remember, U-turn need not be only in the right side. You can take a U-turn left side also. The U-turn possibility means you can be totally different from what you have. Now, if you read only law of destiny and leave it at that, law of destiny totally ticks off your choice. The choice is totally gone. You have no choice, says law of destiny. Whereas law of karma comes and says, no, you always have a choice. Choice means what? To do something in whatever direction I have been moving, I can move totally in the opposite direction. That is called a U-turn. If I give an example, it will become a little easy. See, today I am an illiterate. Right. This is my destiny. Why I am illiterate today? Because of my past. In the past, I did not put in effort in the direction of education. I didn't go to school, I didn't go to college, I didn't do formal or informal. Anyway, literacy doesn't mean you have to go to school only. Remember, even in an informal manner, a person can get himself educated, can become a literate. However, there is a systematic effort has to be put in. Some sort of effort has to be put in, even if it is unsystematic also, random also, doesn't matter. Some effort had to be put in the past. If I have worked in the past, I would be a literate. In the past, I have not put in the direction. I have not worked in the direction. Therefore, I am illiterate today. From birth, I have been living in South Bangalore only. And my schooling and all in South Bangalore, the college also in South Bangalore, office also South Bangalore. Suddenly, ask this man after 50 years to shift to North Bangalore. You see, what happens? He can't conceive that. He says, sir, I can't live. Like this is what happens to many people, many parents. They say, you got a job. No, you shift. We continue to live here. Why? Because we cannot go. We cannot conceive that possibility of living in a totally different, state. A totally different, this one. That's why after you get, people go and settle down and abroad, they say, parents come, parents come, parents come. Now, if the parents were to go there for 1 week, interesting. 1 month, interesting. They get a visa for 6 months. And this boy says, you stay here for 6 months. No, what is your problem? And first time when they go, they also believe, yeah, having spent so much of money for the airfare and visa processing and all those things, let us maximize. After that, what happens? Second time they call, they say what? No, I'm not coming. What will I do in the house? At least earlier, we had that excitement of watching TV things and all those things. Now, all that I have an access sitting in India itself. You see, I have the Netflix, I have got Apple TV here. Whatever is needed, I have here itself. Why should I come there? You can't tell him, I can take you to the mall. We say, we also have got malls here. Right? Now, what is it that you are going to? This person says, I can't conceive it. However, the potential to move doesn't change. That is there. Now, this is where a lot of extractions we have to do in our understanding. What is the first thing? I'm just going back to the first example. I am illiterate today. If I am illiterate today, will I continue to be illiterate in the future also? Do I have to be? No. Why? This is where complexities will start in life. You say, yes, sir, I can become a literate in future. Now, what is so interesting here is my understanding of what it is to be a literate. Right. Now, when will I put an effort for me to move towards literacy? I need to have two understandings. One, I should have the understanding of what are the benefits of being a literate. Number two, what all that I will lose by not being a literate. Remember, you should have both this. Right? You need to have this understanding. One, I need to know what is wrong in being an illiterate. Also, I need to understand what is the gain of literate. Loss in illiteracy, gain in literacy. Now, what is so interesting is I can understand the ill effects of illiteracy when I am an illiterate. Okay. What are the benefits of being a literate? I need to project and understand. Experientially, not possible for me. Follow carefully. I am illiterate. When will I start putting effort towards literacy? I can be motivated to work towards literacy either by showing the loss that I am going through, what all the insults that I have to go through, how all people are exploiting my illiteracy. If 1,000 rupees have 3 zeros, 4,000 rupees should have how many zeros? He says 4,000 rupees should have 4 zeros. No, he says. Oh, 4,000 rupees should have 4 zeros. Not correct. Logic. He writes 4,000 rupees and writes a check. See, we say what? No. That is exploitation. Right? You are being exploited because of illiteracy. He can understand that. You have been insulted by your illiteracy. Yes, you are in poverty because of illiteracy. I can understand. When I am in that state of illiteracy, it is easier for me to understand what all the ill effects of illiteracy. Whereas, what is the positive effect of literacy? Can you understand? As illiterate, every child is illiterate. Correct? No child, even Einstein and Shakespeare and Newton, all those people also were born as what? Even Ramanujam is born with what? Knowledge of mathematics or what? No, he also had to go to school, no, to be taught. Every child is born illiterate. And the child never understands what is the power of getting educated. A child will not understand. Isn't it? Why? It doesn't have the capacity. An illiterate person will never understand. That is why we get so inspired when we hear, people of great achievers, these boys and girls who pass, this UPSC exam, or, they join IIT or IIM coming from a very ordinary background. The father is a fruit vendor in a cart. He's selling fruits in a cart. Has no clue of what it is to study in IIT. He has no understanding. You go and tell him what is IIT. He doesn't understand. You tell him, I'm getting an an admission in Indian Institute of Science. He says, what Indian Institute of Science? He doesn't understand all those things. You see. Now, how will you be able to explain? Imagine a father who says, after studying in IIM, his monthly income struggling to fight, and he is working so hard to earn. And this man is earning only 7,000 rupees a month after slogging in the field for in wherever he is working. If this boy were to tell that father that I'm getting into IIT, okay, I have to go there to study for this. Okay, how much you will earn? The son says that if I pass, if I get a good position, easily I should be getting around 35 to, between 35 to 45 lakhs. Imagine, how the father will hear that. Says, what are you going to do in that office? What are you working in that office, sitting there in an AC room with the car, with the driver? Everything is provided to you, and then you are going to be working, you are saying, and you are going to get 30 lakhs, 300,000, 7,000 rupees I have to struggle here for 14, 15 hours of hard work I put in. I'm not able to get increment from 7,000 to 10,000 rupees. I'm begging that fellow for the last 1.5 years. And you are coming and telling me you will go to this place and study and you can get it? Must be something wrong there. See, it is so difficult for him to even understand what it is to be, what is that state where a person is employed straight from that office, from college, inducted. How much, sir? 1.6 CR. Recently I saw this one in the in an institution where he has been inducted by this company, and they have taken him for 1.6 CR. Now you go and tell that man, I'm going to earn 1.6 CR. That dad will do what? He say, hey, you are, because his belief is what? If you have to earn so much, you cannot do in an honest means. This is his belief. You see, because he will vouch it from his own experience. He says what? Yeah, I have seen this fellow earning so much, but what is he doing? Exploiting. So with all this education, what are you going to do, my dear son? You're also going to exploit. Only then you can earn so much money. Otherwise, you can't earn so much money. Isn't it? This is the way. If that father says, right, tell me, the father were to ask that son, imagine the conversation. Tell me, what will you do? And this boy says, no, dad, I will tell them, where to make an investment, where not to make. See, this is what I'm telling you. This is cheating. So you are learning only to do cheating, is it not? What explanation? Okay, you people may not understand what I'm speaking, right? I'll give you another example for this. Imagine a boy says, I am going to study Vedanta. Right? Imagine what will happen to you. Huh? See, as far as the subject Vedanta is concerned, you are illiterate. Okay? Now, imagine your son comes and says, or your daughter comes and says, I want to study. Okay. Your grandson or granddaughter, because most of you are, most of your son, daughter already, finished. There is a chance. Imagine that fellow comes and says, I wanted to study Vedanta. You know what you will do first? I know what will happen. First thing will be what? You will stop attending the classes. You will say what? See, because of me only this fellow got it. No, therefore, see, as long as Ishwaran is studying Vedanta and Ishwaran is teaching Vedanta, we are very happy. See, there's no problem for us. They are correct. Ishwaran is as though some specimen, who has descended from heaven only to study Vedanta and teach Vedanta, all those things. But when your son were to say, what happens to you? Right? I'm sure. I know few people here who are waiting like that. Sir, actually I want him to study, sir. That fellow only not studying. I know. Actually, I want my daughters to study Vedanta. Why? Because he is or she is incapable of studying anything else. Useless. Other aspects are useless. Therefore, you study Vedanta. And you will quote Ishwaran as example for that. See, Ishwaran is an example for this. When you are illiterate, the problem we have is you project something to be literacy. You understand something to be that state of being educated, the state of being a millionaire, state of being a multimillionaire. When you are a pauper, you visualize millionaire's life, isn't it? And then you get inspired by that and start working towards wealth accumulation, building your wealth and building your knowledge. You start moving towards literacy. So what is required? Two things are required. You need to understand what are the ill effects of illiteracy and the positive gains of being a literate, educated. I'm not using the word educated, consciously, because there is a difference. Right? I'm not getting into that aspect now. Right? Being a literate and being an illiterate. There's a difference. Being poor and being rich. Unknown and popular. Imagine the moment you step outside the house, there are 15, newspaper fellows are waiting to click a picture of yours. Today, this person came for walking. And today, for walking, he wore this dress. This is the t-shirt and this is the tracks. Find out what is that brand, which brand he uses. And the shoes, which shoe is wearing. And suddenly that brand starts becoming so popular. Like this happened, no? By mistake, this fellow took out that thing and kept it down in a press meet, in a press conference. And this is what Pele was given money by the shoe company in the finals of FIFA World Cup football match. He was paid, for what? To tie the lace. It's tied already. Just a drama. you have to tie the lace. Just before the match begins, you got to bend down and tie your lace. Why? Because whole attention of all the cameras are going to be on him. And when he is tying the lace, they will zoom into that. And the shoe brand would be shown. So all over the world, everyone will say what? See, he is using this brand. Everyone who is following him, is a fan of him, will start buying that brand. Marketing. Good marketing strategy, those things are. So each one had their own ways of selling things. Imagine your son were to say, I'm going to play football. What happens then? You say, well, yeah, you play football, but you have to study also. But really was, uneducated. Is not. How when you become so popular, what happens now? You understand the value of popularity. You visualize that state of being popular, that state of being illiterate, that state of being rich. When you are illiterate, when you are not known, when you are poor. Right? With that, you start your effort. You start working. When you start working, comes this law of karma. You have taken that U-turn. You say what? Yes, I am working in that direction of this. Now, at any point of time, you stop and analyze your life with reference to the earlier state of illiteracy. After 2 years of going to school or studying and all those things, what is your state of literacy now? With reference to your past state of illiteracy, current state would be better. But you always will be falling short of your idea. You're all with me? With reference to the past state of poverty, right now you are slightly better off. Earlier I was earning only about 7,000 rupees. Now I am earning 25,000 rupees. From 7 to 25, I have grown, no doubt about it. But with reference to the goal that I have, with reference to what I thought of being rich, I will be falling short. Now, this is how life is plagued by these two laws of life, these two principles, destiny and karma. See, for you to continue your effort, what is the issue here? When you see the past and current, if you see, your present effort of attempting to gain this knowledge, gain literacy. I'm saying this knowledge doesn't mean Vedanta. I mean the present effort of literacy, whatever effort I put in, systematic, random, formal, informal, any effort that I put in, that effort and that effort to produce the result that effort produces gets colored by the past. That is called a Prarabdha. See, the past, the weight of the past, whatever you carry, the baggage. That is why those who teach this language, they say there are two students with that same IQ level where to join a language course. One person knows only one language. Another person knows 4 languages. With reference to this particular language, both are having equal level of illiteracy only. Both don't know. But then the language experts, they say, the speed in which the first will pick up that language vis-a-vis the second would be slower. The second one would be able to pick up that 5th language that he is learning. And 6th language is much more easier. 7th language, much more easier. I had one person here in Bangalore, who's one of the, a dean. He was a dean of a university here. He's a very close to me, this man. He had learned, 16 languages. The highest one I have known in my circle. He knew 16 languages. I said, wow. He's the one who told me it's very easy, Ishwara, not difficult at all. The first 3, 4 is the problem. 5, 6, 7, 8, very easy because there is a lot of resemblance you can see. And it's very easy for you to rewire things. Easy for a person. Why? Because the present effort of mind will get the effort that I put in will get colored. The effect of my present effort in the immediate will have the coloring of the past. So we say that by the contrast, the past, your understanding of the complete state of literacy, when you are completely illiterate, to your present state of literacy, if you see complete illiteracy to present literacy, better. But complete understanding of literacy to your present literacy, if you see, there is a gap. So what happens? There is a conflict. There's a conflict happens because you have conceived something of literacy. Anything get conceived, instantly it becomes the past, isn't it? The moment you conceive something, it becomes the past. So your understanding of that state of literacy, you fall short. When you fall short, what happens? That is where you become pessimistic. Pessimism comes in. Says what? Sir, I have been trying to study and study and study and study and study, but it's not coming. I know a lot of people who have got driving license. Car driving license they have, but they don't drive. Ask them, why you don't drive? You got the driving license. No, then why are you not driving? You, sir, accident. You, I don't know. See, your understanding of driving is what? And why you are not able to do that is because of your understanding of what is this, and you fall short of it. And you look at your present to your conception. What you fail to recognize is you think it is future, but it is not future. Since it is conceived, it has moved to the past. It's not future. That's where the problem is. One mistake is this. The past is coloring me. What is the past? The conception with reference to the future that you have is the past. So does it belong to the past or does it belong to the future? We are moving into essence of Vedanta. Okay. This little bit of twisting and turning has to be there. Trying to make it, I don't know. I'm thinking that I'm making it easier. Right? Maybe I'm making it more complex, confusing more actually, possible. Some others say, the simple idea, why are you complicating it? No, just say that, no, that's all it is. To me, it's not, because there are things, does it belong to the future or past now? It's actually, past means what? Destiny. The moment you look at from that direction, this. Now, again, what happens is, when you are falling short, you feel you are not progressing at all. In spite of my efforts, I am not progressing. Why do you feel that? Because of your conception of what is that state of literacy. Complete literacy. See, complete in the sense, at some point of time, we would have thought this much. So life, this much is needed, sir. So, materially. I've seen a person, he says, sir, in life, all that you require is what? One house, fully owned. Not, no, you and wife, it has to be only in my name. Fully owned one house. And then X amount of money in the bank or in some investments, out of which I will be getting some returns in the form of interest or in the form of dividends or in the form of this. Amma will get some money. If I can get about 25,000 like that, Ishwaran, 25,000 rupees is what he told me. Right? One house. If I have to get interest 25,000 rupees per month, then he goes backwards. Says, how much money I should have put in the bank? That much money you have to put in the bank. He says 5 crores. I don't know, I'm just saying, right? Some amount. 1 crore, let's say. 5 crores may be too much. Okay, 1 crore you have to have in the bank. If you have 1 crore in the bank, that will give you 25,000 rupees, interest every month, with which you can live comfortably. This he thought when he was earning, and he has to buy a house also. House is what another one crore, which means what? I need 2 crores. 1 crore to buy the house and 1 crore to be in the bank. Now, how much are you earning? If I ask him, he says what? I'm earning 25,000 rupees. With that 25,000 rupees, by when I will be able to build that sort of a corpus, one house I should be building, this Janma, no chance. That is where this past thinking, your destiny, makes you pessimistic. And he says, this is what it means. Now people think, in the past, I must have murdered somebody. I must have, stolen something. I must have been a terrorist in the past. Therefore, it's not that, please. It is in ignorance in the past. When you are in that state, your ability to conceive, your ability to think, ability to feel, ability to do, everything is limited. From that limitation, only you have conceived something, right? Which at that point of time looked so inspiring to you to move. But once you start moving, what has happened? Every one of us will want to get the result. Now, when you want to get the result, after 2 years or 3 years, you look back and you say, what? Where are you right now? Huh? Situations have changed. Things, so many factors have influenced. Now, when you look at it, what do you? Your own past conception of what it is to be rich, what it is to be a literate, colors your present assessment of your effort and the result. So one way of looking at it is what? You look at with reference to that, you become very, very pessimistic. Then what is this optimistic view? Again, you make one mistake there. In the name of becoming optimist, you become arrogant. I say, don't become a pessimist and don't fall into this inferiority complex. You slip out of, you escape from inferiority complex only to land in superiority complex. You know, this is the problem. The moment we say, don't do this mistake, immediately you say what? Yeah, compared to my past level of illiteracy, right now I have achieved a great amount of literacy. And initially it will appear as a positive one. But it is actually what? It is actually a state of arrogance. You fall into arrogance. You fall into the trap of achieving something great that you have achieved in your life. Of course, it is an achievement. I'm not saying it is not an achievement. Of course, your effort had put in, you have moved out of it, you have reached the state right now. It is there. There's no doubt about it. But then what you have to understand is the positive feelings can make you arrogant because people will read these things and say, sir, Vedanta also talks about positive thinking. I'm also talking about positive thinking. Therefore, I'm talking Vedanta. Say, no. Vedanta says, what is this? The difference is this. What Vedanta speaks, what law of karma says, and what this positive thinking trap is this. When you fall into the trap of superiority or arrogance or that satisfaction, your effort will stop. That is the indication. The indication is this. The moment effort stops, arrogance gets further fed. When do you stop your effort? Why do you stop it? The one who is striving can never be arrogant. That is why a student is never arrogant. See, don't say teacher will be arrogant. Okay. A student can never be arrogant. That's why they are able to learn. A child has no arrogance. That is why a child is able to learn. It straight away accepts. I don't understand. What is it? How do you pronounce it? What do you call that as? You use a word in front of a child. If the child doesn't know the meaning of that, the child will ask you, what does it mean? You'll say. See, why? Because the child has no problem. It is putting that effort to learn. That's why there's people like Newton, Einstein, the heights of the achievements, they said, what is my knowledge compared to my ignorance? Remember, a person who is working hard will never fall into the trap. That's why humility, we say, is the mark, the sign of a knowledgeable person. Humility is the mark of knowledgeable, man of wisdom. Say, what is that effort? Arrogance sets in. For arrogance to seep in and settle down in your personality, it demands a particular conduciveness in you. What is the conduciveness? What is the condition? The condition is this. When you feel enthused to put in effort, the same subject that you are studying, you must understand that there are so many things that I still don't understand. I know a lot. This is the state of Newton. We also say, what is my knowledge compared to my ignorance? I don't know. We also say, I don't know. Einstein also says, I don't know. That doesn't mean both I don't know are same. What is the difference? The difference is this. The difference is when after he has put an effort to understand a field, I'm still using the same example of literacy. Okay. In that same field, when he is slogging and working and all those things, he does gain knowledge. How not to fall into the trap of arrogance? We need to know when arrogance will come in. Only when I feel that there's nothing more to explore. This is it. That's all. No. Isn't it? What is the problem? All that you have to do is what? Casually I say that. What is your problem? You have to build intellect. Lack of intellect is the problem. Now, how to build intellect? Read Vedanta treatise. How to read Vedanta treatise? Attend my class. How to attend your class? This is the Zoom link. Sit. And fortunately, nobody comes around and asks us, you have been studying Vedanta for the last 25 years. Have you built your intellect? They say, that and all, don't ask, okay? Fortunately, nobody asks that. Every one of you assume what? You give the benefit of doubt to me, isn't it? That is how all of us survive. We give the benefit of doubt to maybe because he is speaking so nicely, because he is talking nicely or not also doesn't matter. Because he has been talking and there are people listening. Assumption is what? Is this not? This is called what? This is called, in other words, this is called a complacency. A sense of complacency will set in. Once that complacency sets in, your effort stops. Once your effort stops, arrogance creeps in. That's the best conducive time for the arrogance to grow. Like just after the rain, all mosquitoes come like that. What is it? When you work in any education, in any field of literacy, any subject for that matter, if you were to think like this, that there are so many dimensions, so many aspects to this knowledge, still to be explored by me, still to be understood by me. If you have this understanding, your effort will keep growing. That's what we need to think. What can be a motivating factor for Mukesh Ambani or Ratan Tata, all these people to get up and go to office? He also gets up and goes to office, right? He also goes for meetings. He has his own problems. He has his own crisis. Right? What can be a motivating factor for him? It's so interesting to see those people. At any level for that matter. You see, I'm not saying only your argument will be, sir, one day when I reach there, I will also have that same. See, this is called lack of thinking. When you strive, when your effort stops, complacency sets in. Why do you stop your effort? What makes you to stop your effort? Your destiny. Your destiny makes you stop. What is a destiny? what you conceived as a state of literacy in the past, you feel you have achieved. Right? See, I have got. And then you will start philosophizing also. Life needs to be contented, Should be satisfied with life. You should be content. You only talk about contentment, no Ishwara. I am already in that state of contentment. What you fail to recognize is it is not contentment, it is complacency. You are not engaging another aspect of your personality called Purushartha at all. Your Prarabdha, your destiny is not allowing you to access that Purushartha. So your conception of that which has motivated you to move itself stops you from moving. So what happens? You fall back. You fall back. And then you say what? Ishwaran, I have tried everything. I have done all those things. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. There's no such thing. It's not yielding any result. Why we say that? It's because your ability to conceive that ideal, a goal that you can set for yourself to progress. And the beauty is, or the tragedy is, you have to set the goal of that, conceive that state of literacy when you are illiterate. That's where the problem is. You see, when you are pauper, you have to conceive the goal of that state of richness. Right? The difficulty is that for that, law of karma comes and says, don't worry, nature has given you a gift, a freebie was given by nature. What? Purushartha. Called Purushartha. Exercise that Purushartha, and then law of destiny will work exactly. You get what you deserve. What is that you deserve? You conceived deep within yourself, you believe I am cut out only for this much. I can grow my intelligence only to this much. I cannot grow beyond that. I cannot learn anything more than this. I cannot do anything more. So each one of us have already fixed that. See, then you get only that. You cannot get anything more. And then we say, when we are not getting more than that, we start blaming all external factors. Government, contract, bank. If government, contract, banks and all those things you are not able to blame, we always have an excuse. See, horoscope, grahas, and then this one, that one. If not that, you start blaming God. No, God's will, sir. Brahma has written my forehead, Libby. This is all you are cut out of. You will not get anything more than that. You cannot have this life. We say, here, the problem is this. For you to continue and for you to put in that constant and continuous effort, demand that. When you don't put in that effort, what happens? You stop that effort. Then what happens? Story doesn't end here. See, story continues. Yes, sir, I have stopped that effort. Okay. When you stop that effort, what happens? you have lot of time with you. See, when you have stopped that effort, you have lot of time with you. When you have lot of time with you and you have nothing to achieve in life, nothing to work for in life, nothing inspires you to put in that effort, how will you spend that time? You will engage yourself in all these non-essentials. You spend that time in non-essentials. The plan, that is why we say how you got to plan and schedule your life should be so tight that you should not have any time to be wasted on anything non-essentials, which means you have to conceive of a goal in life that in this Janma you should not be able to achieve. That is the goal of realization. See, goal which is impossible in this Janma, no chance, sir. Our problem is, you say, sir, you yourself said it is not possible to achieve. Then why put in any effort? Forget it. Then what are you going to do? Out. You see this? That's why the beginning itself said, if you have to understand what you need to understand here, you need to understand the ill effects of staying away from realization. Also, you need to understand the positive gains of realization. What is wrong in staying away from truth and what it is to live a life of truth, Satyam. Both you need to understand. That's where the Shastras come and helps us. Vedanta comes and helps to explain both. That's why you will find in the scriptures, all these masters speak more with reference to the problems of samsara. You see, Buddha didn't say what all you will gain after enlightenment. That he didn't include. The four truths. What is he saying? Life is suffering. And then he starts classifying sufferings into various sections. Suffering has 3 dimensions. And this dimension of suffering has 3 aspects to it. That dimension of suffering has 8 aspects to it. This dimension of suffering has 4 aspects to it. So, which means there are 15 sufferings you have in life. You have to go through all those sufferings. Suffering. But then, second truth is what? You can enter the suffering. That is possible. You can enter it. All discussions were happening only with reference to the problems of samsara. Why? Because it is so difficult for you to conceive that state of realization when you are not realized. But we can understand what is the problem. You see, the problem of samsara can be understood. So with this, what we need to do is conceive this, recognize this and register this and fix that goal as high as possible so that at no point of time you will fall into the trap of either this or that, pessimism, or in the name of optimism landing into arrogance. Because it's a very thin line. The difference between an optimist and an arrogant person is what? Optimist continues to put in effort. His striving has not stopped. His struggle, his work, his effort continues. Arrogant person has stopped his effort already. How do you know a person has stopped his effort already? He will have lot of time to waste. In fact, he'll be searching for opportunities to waste his time. So many web series are there, sir. series after series after series in every language. And now people have started watching Korean. Anyway, you don't understand the language, then what do you? Subtitles. And it's so interesting to see people. By that time you read the subtitle, the scene is gone. The expressions of that actor is gone. The background is gone. You don't register anything. You just keep reading. I say, instead of reading that, buy a book and read. No? Half the time you are watching the web series, which you don't understand anything. See, you read the subtitles. How do you know? Lot of time to waste. This vanity, this ego, this arrogance, etc. All is there because why all these things are there? Because you feed it. How you will be wondering, sir, when did I feed for arrogance? You say, when? Ishwaran, I never think, in my life, this is how destiny works. In the past, freely you have thought, law of destiny. And in the present, where are you? Now, you are in a state of pessimism or you are in a state of arrogance. It says, as long as you are holding on to that Purushartha, which is translated in English as self-effort or free will. There are two words they use for that. Either you can call it as self-effort or you can call it as free will. Otherwise, what happens? You will be. That is why Vedanta recommends keep that goal as high as possible. It should look almost impossible for you to achieve in this Janma. Right. Thus, when you work, you understand how destiny and karma plays. Right. See you in the next class. Right.